It is 9:02, Thursday, March 19th. At Century Terrace, for the regular meeting for the City of Manistee Housing Commission. All meetings to order. And roll call.
Commissioner Goodman,
Here.
Commissioner Pelton,
Here.
Commissioner Mychat, absent, Commissioner Samansky,
Here.
President Fosdick.
Here. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
None here, I don't think.
Okay.
No.
Any public comments on the agenda related item? Consent agenda, approval of minutes for the special meeting minute of February 9th. And the regular meeting minutes for February 19th. Approval of bills and disbursements for February 2026. And financial reports for January 2026.
Move to approve minutes, the disbursement and the financial report.
No second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Who made that motion? I'm sorry.
Jenny.
Jenny? And Mick?
Second.
All right.
Okay, old business. Selection of developer for scattered sites. Have two. That we're still looking at, one being MHT and the other being Sinair Solutions. Are we to a point now where we feel we can pick one of the two?
Yeah, I think we can. Fine, I can make the first selection offer. It's in there. You can vote on it.
So you're recommending Sinair Solutions?
Yes,
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Maintenance garage discussion. Where do we sit on that?
Well, that's a good question. Shiloh's got some thoughts about it too. I think, go ahead, Shiloh. You want to talk about maybe doing a deeper dive into possibilities of renovating it, I think. So Shiloh.
Yeah, so I walked the garage with Kevin, and I think that we should consider, if possible, having structural engineer, someone come and assess the building, because I'm not seeing the level of damage I would normally see where you would deconstruct. Also, there's a lot of additional factors when deconstructing and starting over. I'm seeing that potentially resheeting and redoing the roof, maybe pulling off the coverage of the wall, dragging it out, doing stuff like kills to stop, mitigate any movement of anything that could be growing in there. But I think we could bring in for a fraction of the price, someone to consult very inexpensively to tell us if we should demolish it. And I'm not seeing it at that stage, at least not very clearly. So the investment's a lot smaller than the investment of starting over.
That's a thought. The nice thing about it is we were going to tear down and rebuild. Just we could move it over on this side of the road, use that all as a parking lot over there. For Century Terrace.
I mean,
So,
all good options, just the cost and the time frame. I mean, the speed of re-roofing and those things is pretty quick, but the investment initially, potentially of the structural engineer or someone such as that could give us kind of a professional opinion is a pretty inexpensive cost. And we might find out, for X amount, we can redo it versus, 10X to rebuild it. So that was my thought on it. I walked it, and I saw some of that concrete subfloor stuff. And I saw the wall and where the roof and stuff like that, but I didn't walk in and say this needs to be torn down. I was surprised that that's where the discussion had already gotten to.
I also question whether we need a maintenance building. We need a garage maybe to house some equipment, but I don't know how much we really use a maintenance building anymore. I mean, most all of this stuff is getting farmed out.
I mean, if we're doing this project and we do stuff with these other properties, extra storage for materials and such, would also come in handy for where the commission's moving towards right now by choosing these partners and such.
I think your bottom line of let's get a good assessment of it is a good place to start.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of see if it's cost wise, where we're going. And then we're talking about developing space, you know, do we go with parking lots? Do we go with another building? So I think that's a bigger discussion. But first off, let's see if it's salvageable. And if it's salvageable, what can we do? And we talked about e-bikes, we talked about all these different things. So, you know, I think that's a bigger plan for the building. If we can save it, then what are we gonna do with that? I think it's fine.
So that would be maybe Spicer Group to look, or do we have another?
We worked with Spicer on a couple other things. You know, they might be willing to do that.
And they're our city contractor for
Oh, yeah.
contracting and engineering.
City has them.
But I don't know what Spicer would charge. Spicer's
Little,
charge.
a little bit more spending. for that.
I think they would be reasonable from inspection.
We could get a few quotes from structural engineers too.
I mean,
Or maybe even a building inspector coming.
Any of those things. I mean, you got a mitigation specialist, you know, companies like that could come in, Spicer Group, you know, could come in. Some of these places, you know, if they're the ones that get to also offer on the contract side of the repairs itself, like the mitigation companies, they oftentimes will write that bid repair for free, so the inspection might be free. Spicer is going to give us more of a professional kind of assessment, so they're going to charge for that assessment. Both are a good option.
Mr. Gould is our building inspector, and he's very good. He might be a good place to start.
Blue,
That would-
Jerry, right?
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
And he's, and he would do it without a cost initially, so.
Why don't we leave it like this, Shiloh? We leave it to your preference. Do what you see fit.
I will have
Report
more
back.
information next month. Good.
So you're walking and thinking with them. Just keep in mind, we do need more parking.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah, that is an idea, but the dumpster limits that ability to park in there. So another location for that, just kind of keep it all in mind when you're talking.
Understood.
I just question whether we need a maintenance building. You know, most of the maintenance we're doing is turnaround in apartments. And most of that stuff's done right in the apartment that you're rehabbing.
Well, it is nice to have a heated space to work on
Mhm.
equipment and like thaw snow blowers and tractors or whatever, so.
And we do bikes and
Mhm.
bikes and all that stuff. You have to
Yeah,
have
but
separate
storage,
storage.
that would be a good spot.
Well, and eventually some of these exteriors are going to break down, and we will, if you know, our team has the skills to be able to not have to farm some of this stuff out. We then would need, you know, ability to be cutting these longer boards, to be doing trim outside and such. And again, hopefully it's an inexpensive investment, to potentially save the building versus if we do nothing, it's going to have to go. So this gives us options.
That there's a Roger maintenance building up in scattered sites too.
And yep,
Why don't we just leave it to you, go back and let us know what you think.
thank you.
Final grant report. This is for, I assume, the Riverside.
I think so, Steve. Lori's on the,
Lori's
Good
there.
morning. Can you guys hear me
Good
okay?
morning, Lori.
So I just
Yeah.
included that, for your reference. That's the final report to the Manistee Community Foundation on the feasibility study grant.
so it's kind of closing out the grant, correct? Or
Correct.
Yeah.
So they accepted it and they said, we're good. They have everything they needed.
And this was for 15,000.
I think it was 13,500.
Yeah.
And then, we contributed 1,500 towards the feasibility study.
Okay. So we just have to approve that we've seen the final.
I don't think it needs any approval. I just wanted you to see the final report in hopes that in the future we will continue on with that project.
Just informative.
Are we moving forward to try to solicit grants? Maybe get this project started, or are we just gonna set it on our wheels right now?
If this is what Lori and I were talking about recently, the grant has to be requested through the city. There's a city aspect that has to be integrated. So we're only at the stage of knowing that feasibility is done, but as far as the next stages, I don't know.
But I
if the
don't
city's
know how
gonna be-
active the city is finding grants for us when they're trying to find grants for themselves.
Well, I just established a contact with the city manager and, I've been a little active reaching out, for the couple of weeks, so I can look into, where he's at and where he would point me to see how active they are in seeking these grants for us.
County also has a grant, right?
Okay.
And cost us.
But I do think that we have to do the grant in conjunction with the city
Mhm.
as we are subordinated to the city.
Yeah, they have to request that.
Anything else on that? Okay, new business. West Shore Bank, Central Office Cost Center Management Account. What is that?
You want to take it, Shiloh, or you want me?
We could- I think
Well,
we did-
so, and Lori, correct me if I'm wrong, but this really stems from the accountants, the way our management entity is structured, that they're saying we shouldn't be paying the management staff from public housing account. So the money needs to flow through just the opposite way that it's flowing through now. So they want us to create an account, and then public housing can contribute to that account to pay our staff, the 25% that time that they are allocated. 75% is allocated for most people from the Riverside Management Company. Is that correct, Lori? Did I get that right?
Correct, and then, yeah, and HUD, as well. Does not want us using public housing funds, to pay for other programs and then us reimbursing our public housing funds. So this way, even though it will be a City of Manistee Housing Commission general administrative account is what we would like to name it. It will be at West Shore Bank. And, it'll be a lot cleaner, transition of the funds.
Funds will go in that account and then the public housing fund will pay into it.
To it.
Correct, and so will Riverside.
And so the employees will be paid out of this account. So payroll, this is really for payroll,
Mhm.
right? I think.
We're trying to isolate the public
Yeah.
accounting.
Yeah.
So we would
The
need a
accountants
motion
are worried
to
about that.
create.
What we're doing now would be an audit finding.
That's something that requires a vote?
Yes.
Yes, it does. So we would actually need a motion, and I will be typing the minutes as soon as the meeting's over. And West Shore Bank would like a copy of them so that they can start working on this. But the motion would need to be to create a general administrative account.
I make the motion that we create a general administrative account, central office cost center management accounting for West Shore Bank for public health.
Do I have a second? Should be seconded. Is this roll call or is this?
Nope. No, it's not a
All in
resolution.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. West Shore Bank signature card authorization.
So that's
Oh,
mainly
that idea.
to, yes, so we've been working with Noah to add the new executive director, Shiloh Rowe, and the fairly new resident commissioner, Susan Mycheck. So the motion would need to be to approve all the existing members on the account, which would be you four and myself. We will all remain on the account, but we will add the new executive director and Commissioner Mycheck to the account. So you will actually all receive a email that you will need to click and sign again on.
I make the motion that we update our signature card authorization, adding our new executive director and the newest board member for West Shore Bank.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Motion carried. Annual presentation to the city. That's time again, huh?
It is April 7th. So should just talk how we want to do that. And would a board member like to lead that? Or would you like I mean, obviously, we're gonna introduce Shiloh and what do you think?
I think, you know, it's okay to come and maybe introduce him and then turn it over to Shiloh, if you're feeling comfortable by that time. I mean, just not make you go up there by yourself, but I think a good introduction, you know, like introduce Shiloh, you know, our new executive director. And he'll give the presentation. And then if you want, you know, a board member can be there to support or to add on, whatever. I think we tag team last time.
We did.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem. He had talked about coming up just to help prepare it, just
There you
because
go.
he's done these in the past. If he can't, or that's not the best way, I have no problem giving a presentation, but I would love to learn under his tutelage with all that experience if it's possible.
If you feel like being here, Mark.
Oh,
They moved them up to 5:30.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, they're at 5:30 now.
really?
Yeah, they have been for,
a few months.
oh, wow.
Is that prior to the council meeting now, Jim?
The council meeting's at 5:30.
Oh, the council meeting starts at
Yeah.
5.
You would have been there and spent it up and
Oh,
waited
yeah.
to buy.
Now, do they change it in the summer back to 7?
no,
No,
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that better.
So Mark, if you're going to be there, that's
Yeah, I'll be there.
sure.
I'll be there.
All right, Jim. Jim will make it easy
you
on
could all
us.
be very happy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's a good idea.
Mark and Sally, you're gonna coordinate this.
Yeah.
and I will probably be there. I hope to be there too.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe you guys could, introduce us
Never
too.
been there, but-
I think it's good that a board member has a couple comments too. So maybe talk about, the process, how we found Shiloh and we convinced him to move from.
And then he can talk about his adventure moving to Michigan.
Yeah, that's right.
I made it
You
on
got all the
time.
bad stuff out in the beginning.
Well,
Made it
then
on
you
time.
get into a blizzard.
Yeah, yeah. You were supposed to bring sunshine.
So let's.
I did for a day.
Shiloh's the one that brought this blizzard.
Yeah.
Well, I'll blame Shiloh.
There is no presentation or discussion that I know of. Reports and communications, operations manager, executive director, Mark, Shiloh, and Lori.
I guess I'll start, Chair. I don't have a lot to report other than the things we're talking about today. We've been going over, working on. I think one of the biggest hurdles was picking a developer. So now we can start that discussion with them and we'll bring Shiloh up to speed on all of that. And
Send the other one a nice letter. Like, really, we're impressed with many things. It's a difficult choice, however. Something really nice.
I don't really have anything.
Yeah, as far as for me, I provided some of the things that I've tried to contribute, working on, staffing, met with the personnel committee this week. So moving forward with that, just trying to learn, absorb some of the information of what's been going on, big picture wise, and then just trying to look at micro refinements on some of the operational stuff, formalized complaint process, reviewed all of the complaints that hadn't yet been addressed. We're talking about tenant concerns. So we now have a pretty strict process that's in place now. And then also reviewed some of the inspection stuff, went on some inspections the other day. So just trying to update some of the processes. Again, this is I put on here, I think it's my 13th work day. So trying to contribute. And then obviously the maintenance garage, I'd love to see what I can contribute there too. But really it's the learning phase for me.
Looks like you went right at quite a few of the concerns. Like it.
Lori, do you have anything?
Hello again. Just mainly, I think it's been great having Shiloh there and it'll be nice to have, some new structures put in place as well. So good job, commissioners, on picking the new executive director.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Lori.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I think we made a good decision, number one. And I think we've made some progress in the 3 years. So it's like March,
Yeah.
3 years ago when I kind of showed up
Yeah,
here. And I like the ideas that we're talking about. And I think there's some good things that are going to be happening. And I'd just like to encourage you to, in Shiloh, maybe I sent you guys all an email. Did you guys get that about the project that I'm working on in another community? I said I was gonna add everybody on the Manistee housing list about the outreach and marketing efforts we're doing in the community. So think about some of that we may want to do here.
There's a lot of press down there.
Yeah. Well, it's intentional, by the way.
Mm.
You know, it's to head off negative. I mean, get the positive message out there. And I think maybe we haven't always done a good job with that, but yeah. So we decided to hire a firm to help us with that, you know, created a website and created links to talk about new projects. So it's not a surprise for everybody in the community knows what we're doing. So
I think that for, for my experience being on here, longest time, it's also having a clear message of what we're doing and where we're going and the expectations, and that is never heard in my experience. So I think that keeping a good focus, knowing where we want to go, setting those plans up in a solid manner. I mean, I like the way we did our interviews. Now that we picked a group, now we have to start with, this is what we're looking for, this is what we want. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Mark. It has to be, you have to get the right information out there. Otherwise, you know, the gossip chain or whatever, people, if you don't provide the information, people will put information in.
that's right.
And we want the right information.
Factual.
We got our news advocate girl here
Yeah.
again. We're happy. Maybe we can get a once a week byline in the paper, which is always nice, like the senior center has one, other people. So you're getting the real message out. For instance, the Riley Apartments, like everyone's dying to get the real information and there's no information. And so we want to be ahead of the information rather than behind, I think. And because it's gonna have a lot of questions when we start making things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've come so far. We have to keep the positive energy going.
Well, that was going to be my next comment. I mean, think of where we were 3 years ago. We had 67 vacancies here and, you know. The other thing I mentioned to Shiloh too, and I think it's probably time giving him a few more days, a few more days, but probably maybe do it like a planning session. Maybe just get some ideas out there and some goals. And it's a good evaluation tool as well. So
I think it's a great idea, yes, and then we can also put those goals as part of the.
Yeah.
Evaluation. That's a great idea. Also too, it will affirm our board, our administrative as to where we're going. And again, and I say this all the time, I believe that we should be leaders in housing, not catching up with everybody else. We should be the leaders. We have the most resources. We have a great knowledge base. And I think that it could do great things, not just these buildings, but building neighborhoods, building for people in Manistee.
And not just affordable.
For working people. They're all affordable.
Yeah.
So I really see, again, personally, I would just follow your lead from what you did in Big Rapids, because I've been so impressed with that. I think anybody and everybody should go down there and just see what Big Rapids did. In a collective city, even the county can get involved. I mean, everybody come to the table because we're the housing specialists, leaders, land bank, let's talk. You know, what can we all do?
Well, and I think you guys made, you know, not necessarily choosing me, I appreciate that, but having someone local, there's only so much they can do, and they've done a ton more than most people could from afar, but you know, in my 13 days I go back to, I've reached out directly to 3 executive directors and nonprofits locally. So I'm gonna meet with someone next week. I've been invited to an event through Mixed Organization, your executive director and I spoke. And I've signed us up for the chamber. I'm trying to think of the other stuff. I couldn't make the last chamber event, but as far as the outreach and such, you know, they have a PR firm helping them. But I am trying to be active in the community, and I think anyone that would be local in this position would be trying to do that. So hopefully we can get the message out.
I've announced you at the county, and I'm I will have the administrator reach out and invite you to one of our meetings. I will also do an introduction between you and Rachel Nelson, who is in charge of our land bank. So I'll
Oh, perfect.
do an introduction for you to meet up.
Yeah, I've also been invited to join another board for a nonprofit here. And obviously I wouldn't do anything without the board's approval, but there is active outreach. This is an organization that we kind of have a relationship with as far as, who our attorney is and such. Yeah, I've gotten an invite to come to one of their meetings and potentially join that board if it's something in the future. So I think there's a lot of stuff moving forward for a couple of weeks.
Okay, anything else? Committee reports. Finance committee, we're still and I have not been able to meet decent because we need to change some of the way the financials are viewed. And I just looked, this last month, it showed a $75,000 profit for the month. And we're only anticipating $250,000 for the year, and I'm thinking, how can that happen? And the reason it's happening is no one's prorating these things. And we need to get something more substantial that we really look at.
Now, Steve, which particular report, public housing or
That was CTH.
CTH?
The public housing does it too.
Well, you gotta remember, some of the expenses are front loaded, some are back loaded too. So sometimes your utility expenses are greater at certain times of the year, so you're gonna show. Even though we budgeted,
Right.
some of it's gonna be expensed quicker and some of it's gonna be expensed down the road further.
Okay.
Or when the profits drop, you may not be able to spread it out.
Yeah.
You have to annotate it on when you get the funds.
And I know Shiloh and Lori, and Lori's been working on getting the adjustments for the half payments, some big increases. So I think there's a substantial amount of money out there that's gonna come into the properties too, right, Lori?
Who's left us?
That's right.
Yes, Mark, that is correct. We did have over $300,000 in HAP payments that were tied up at the HUD level.
Yeah, so we're waiting for them to release it. So there's a lot. We're getting all the increases we were entitled to. So catching up on all of that.
Hopefully we find time to get together here next month. So, but that's it for finance committee, personnel committee.
We met
We met,
this week.
what, no,
Last week, right?
Last week.
last week.
Uh,
I don't know what to do.
Just did a basic kind of overview of some things that Shiloh just touched on. One of the things was just a reorganization of staffing and reviewed that and felt, he has the knowledge and the ability to reshape his staff as he sees fit. So said that's good, but there was no actionable items.
Okay. Well, Karen, as long as you're down here talking, we'll start commissioner reports from your end.
I don't have anything.
Judy?
I don't have anything, I guess, except I do really like this 13-day report.
Again, Kyle, it was great to have you on the team, truly. And it's good to have Lori here as well. I was gonna attend that NAHRO conference with Vanessa Buells from Habitat for Humanity. And one of our side trips was gonna go down to look at a company called Ridgecraft. And they are a modular home builder, but apparently they have kind of broken the mold. And 3 or 4 other Habitats for Humanity have gone down and have been incredibly impressed, not only with the quality, but with the price delivery. I mean, they have basically Habitat style homes that basic construction on site, $110,000,
Oh,
which is almost unheard of. Now, that's obviously still, basement, foundation, the exterior plumbing, all of that still has to be factored in, but still, just from a material cost, it's hard pressed to do that. We're, like I said, we just got snowed out. There's no way we're gonna risk Lake and Lynn to drive down to the Michigan border.
Where's it at? Where is it at?
It's in, Jonesville, which is south of, kind of southeast of Battle Creek, about 45 miles from Battle Creek. It's called Ritz Craft. But the quality of how they build, they're a green build company. So they meet all of our criterias. So we're interested in that because, again, it's getting harder and harder to do construction for a reasonable cost, even with volunteer laborers associated. So this might be something that we could certainly look at too, as we get some properties that are available to be able to put some nice 2-3 bedroom homes up for a reasonable price, and maybe even kind of go into the rent to own category for some of these things, which would be a nice plus, I think, for our housing office to pursue.
So are you still gonna go to the Narrow and then do this?
It's already passed. We couldn't, now the next one, I'm not sure.
April.
The narrow one's in
The
April,
Narrow
man.
is in April.
Yeah, they just had,
April 8th through the 10th.
what's
Yeah.
the one? Maybe it wasn't narrow, it was,
It was,
anyways, it was just last month,
oh, okay.
down in Battle Creek.
Oh,
Anyways, hopefully we'll be able to get more information, soon and do the tours, but, several other habitat companies, and I know Vanessa mentioned that to you as well, that, it might be an opportunity for us, even if we look at it collectively. So, I mean,
The only thing that I would. Jonesville is just 20 miles east of Quincy. It's east of Coldwater
okay.
is what it is. The only thing I have a question on is we have a mini split unit, forget what it's called, the one that saddles in the window. Where are we at on that? Have we had it long enough to determine whether it's gonna work or not work, or?
I know in the last meeting, which I just watched this morning, Lori had said that she was gathering figures based off of the usage last month, and she might have an update. Lori, have you gotten any new information about
So
those numbers?
the resident that has it continues to love it. And the company did offer, they lowered the price to $3,000 a unit. So I'll be getting the rebate on this unit back from consumers. We just paid for it. So once I have the paid invoice, send the invoice and proof that we paid it, consumers will give us back about 1,000. So I know we should be able to get about 1,000 back per unit. So it would cost Century Terrace about $2,000 a unit, times at least 119. Or approximately, I think we averaged 124 units. So that's something I can bring back to you in April with more information, because the books are out now from consumers. So I can work with Don Bissell from Consumers and determine exactly what the rebate would be and exact cost. That does not include shipping, the 3,000.
Well, I'm sure, Lori, you can get shipping included in that.
I'll do my best, President.
The issue though too is I think Shiloh will probably have more to say about this, is that we can't put them in the bedrooms because there's not enough egress space left.
Mhm.
So,
That's what she said in the last meeting as well. So they would have to go in the living room.
It has to be an exterior wall.
Yes, yeah, so it's got to go through the window.
And the other item that's undetermined is what remains from the electric heat. In order to receive the rebate from consumers, I know we at least have to eliminate the heat register in the living room. Maybe they'll let us leave it in the bedroom. So that's still, we still have to configure all that.
but it will be cooling and it will be they'll
Right.
all be the same units and it'll be, you know, commission maintained versus a mishmash of air conditioners that aren't installed.
So there's a lot more to it. I just don't want to see the ball drop down. I don't want it.
And is it a possible to put air vents between the living room and the bedroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is what the building official, Jerry Blue, when he came and looked at it, that is actually what he recommended.
And could you do that with a push fan or a pull fan?
Right.
So that you'd actually be pulling the air into the bedroom and circulating.
Yeah,
You could, you'd be running more electric.
a low RPM fan that's quiet.
Right, good.
And I know at another authority that I had an affiliation with previously, they would purchase X amount of just the personal use units. And then when people would request them, they would put them in the units for them. So they were more of the mobile units, but then there's not necessarily a change of registers and such. So I think there's lots of options.
Yeah, I believe the electric bill for the past month was over $11,000. So I do believe when they start crunching the numbers, we definitely we should qualify for some incentives to get that electric bill reduced.
Okay. Received communications, Building Michigan Communities Conference,
There's 3 conferences coming up.
and Mista's spring conference and Narrows conference.
Yeah, the building, you know, I would just say that the Building Michigan Communities Conference is where we would go if we're in the development world. And we're in the development world. So, I mean, if anybody's interested, anybody that would likely be part of a new project will be there. From developers, consultants, architects, builders. So, typically the governor's there. Or Lieutenant Governor, I think last year was one of the speakers. So it's really this is the place to meet potential partners.
I would love to go. I just don't know whether my health's gonna
Yeah.
allow that.
That's one at Park Place Hotel.
That's the MODA. It's the first one. Like the one in Traverse City, that's the Michigan Housing Directors Association.
No,
What we
We just got the 2.
well,
no, I think all 3 are in there.
The Building Michigan
Oh.
Community Conference, yes,
Oh, this one?
yeah.
Oh, it just doesn't have it.
So it's
There's-
in May.
There's actually 3.
There's 3. There's kind of different reasons for each. You know, we have the development one, which is kind of where the commission is currently working on. The executive one would be more for me to network with other people, you know. And then the NARA one would be for potentially the office staff and myself to go to a lot of trainings and such. So another networking one, but they offer a lot of training. So different reasons for each conference.
Yep.
It's good.
Commissioner
Yeah.
Goodman, this is the one that I believe you had planned on going to last year, but something came up. And I think 3 of the commissioners were going to try to make it. And they did refund our registration fee. So if anyone is interested, I could always get you registered. We can cancel again because they did refund us last year when we were unable to make it.
Which one, Lori? The NARO conference?
No, the building
Oh, yeah,
last
right.
year, there were 3 commissioners I signed up for it, but we were unable to attend, so they were able to refund us.
Where is that one at?
Lansing,
So, where is it?
Lansing.
Oh, okay.
It's at the Lansing Center.
Oh, that's where it was last year.
Yeah.
Too. You went. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I've actually given a presentation there before. A lot of people that are giving presentations, there's a lot of people that I know that we've done business with. The Mishta folks are there, the tax credit folks are there. Scenair's a
Travis
sponsor.
Alden is there.
What's that?
Travis Alden is there speaking, our former DDA director.
Jeannie, you're right about NARO. I mean, NARO nationwide is the known body for the training of flood and such. So
Do we have to decide, like, if we're, like, staff can just pick if they wanna go, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, I think that Shiloh's calling, staff, which staff goes where. You're calling if you want to go to any of them, you know, obviously the commission pays for it and,
I would like to see staff start to attend some of these trainings. I would, just because it gives them a couple days away. And lets them know that we feel that they're important enough to do this.
and we probably have to close the office then to take staff for a couple of days. Yeah. So,
Now, Mark, you and I will run it.
as long as you answer the phones and do the window.
Hello, this is Susie calling. Okay,
No decision, you don't have to make a decision today, but just let Shiloh know. But I'll be at the the Building Mission Communities Conference, and if somebody wants to meet me and ride with me, that's fine too. So,
okay, vacancy report. This is where Lori starts to grow. Are you with us, Lori?
I am, yeah. We're doing well. We have 3 vacancies in public housing. One will be filled tomorrow. And by April 1st, 1717 Vine should be filled. We're interviewing the family tomorrow. And then that will only leave the fire unit. And we did get our final number on that. It's 120,000 is what the insurance proved ProMaster to renovate the unit. The unit will have all new electric and windows. And so, and I don't have any units that I know of that are becoming vacant in public housing. And then for the 167 Century Terrace Harborview units, we currently have 3 and 2 of those are assigned.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been doing great.
Okay, newsletters. Copy of this month's newsletter.
Yes.
Yeah, Commonwealth Project Manager, Commonwealth Construction Project Manager. We did notify all the residents that we may be entering their unit to look at punch list items, deficiencies from the renovations. So we are looking forward to getting that inspection completed on March 31st.
Okay, the resident council.
Well, I was just gonna ask on the, just on the resident council, how are we doing on recruiting for the resident council?
So we are having a hard time finding a rec director for Harborview. So, I know Evelyn was just saying yesterday that a resident said the only time I would get out is when I would come down and play bingo. And so, yeah, so I gave her a couple suggestions to see if she could ask a couple residents if they were willing to do that. But that is something that I think we're gonna need to probably get involved in and try and get more recreational activities going for the residents.
And I've been waiting for this meeting because of the stuff that we had talked about, some of the personnel stuff, and so I wanted to finalize that on my first couple of weeks, but I do intend to follow up next week. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed out to the week next after that, to introduce myself with a posting and to invite the residents down to meet with me in a community room, spend some time in each community room again next week or the following week. So maybe at that time will give me a good opportunity to meet people one-on-one and see who's interested in joining the resident board.
I would like to see someone from the resident council come and tell us what to do at each monthly meeting. I forget the fellow's name that was on it. Signed. You help me out?
26.
Yeah, Gary Six. I just loved having him come and give those little spiels.
Yeah, I can give Jasmine a personal invite to the April meeting.
Great. Public comments.
Yeah, I'd like to say, I've been around here a long time, coming over here when I was on the police department. I had a lot of complaints over the years, and then I got on the city council, and then Mick was on with me. And I think we've seen a lot of improvement. I mean, I'm really proud of you guys. You came up and after all the problems we had getting removed, other people removed. And it's been really a pleasure working with you, with Mark and Lori. And so I hope this all continues because you guys have done a great job.
Thank you, Tim.
I really appreciate that. I mean, again, when I started, there was no relationship really with the city,
Oh.
you know, and just kind of avoided you guys as much as possible.
Well, we had to take the fall. We had to take the fall.
Well, and it just on both sides, it's like, it just feels good to have a partnership again, kind of have a good relationship. You know, we represent you and we want to represent you the right way.
I mean, I was the badass for a while because, you know, I brought and started the getting rid of people.
Yeah, that's
So
okay. You have to
I'm
do
really
that.
happy you guys are here. Done a great job.
It was a tough time, but
We've come a long
appreciate
way
it.
since 6-minute meetings.
Yes.
Oh, you want me to come a long way, baby? Okay. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Okay. Announcements and upcoming meetings. The next regularly scheduled Housing Commission meeting is the 16th of April at 9 a.m. at Harvard. And with that, I'd ask for a motion for adjournment.
Motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.